Let's go ahead and break down the Chicago Bears depth chart. So what is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports all back at it with another video talking, of course, NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. If you're a Bears fan and you have not subscribed to the channel, people, what are you doing? Subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss out. The season's here. It's here, people. Now is the time to do so. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications so you're notified every time I drop a new video, guys. And as always, make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. All right, so here's how we're going to do this. All right, so the 53-man roster is set. All right, even our waiver claims are now set. Like all of the things that we need going into week one against the Packers, it is set. So I'm going to break down all of the positions for the Bears. And here we go. We'll just go ahead and get started at the quarterback spot here. So you've got, obviously, your QB1, Justin Fields, going to year 3 of his NFL career, year 2 of him under Luke Getsy's offense. This is a big year for Justin Fields, man, and I expect him to make that leap this year into, I would say, the upper tier of quarterbacks, and he's got the weapons to do so this year. The offensive line is improved. Like, there is no reason why he shouldn't be much improved, and yeah, man, I'm expecting big things out of QB1, so no surprise there. QB2 hasn't been officially confirmed, but it's going to be Tyson Bagent. He is the guy who has impressed the most. The Bears let go of P.J. Walker because of the play of Tyson Bagent. So, to me, he is the guy. And, he's a playmaker. He makes things happen on the field. And every time he's out there, he was, just doing it and getting the job done in preseason. So, love that decision for the Bears. And he is going to be your QB2. And hopefully we don't have to see him because I hope Justin doesn't get hurt. So that is your QB2. And your QB3 is Nathan Peterman. I'm not a fan of Nathan Peterman. I don't know what the Bears see in him, but I guess he's a good practice squad player. I guess he's just a good guy to have around, and I guess coaches just like him. But overall, I'm not a fan. And yeah, I hope we never have to see Nathan Peterman play in a regular season game, unless we're blowing a team out by like 40, 50 points. All right, let's move on to the running back position here. So you've got Khalil Herbert, your RB1 at the second, or is your RB2. Right now, I'd probably say it's Dante Foreman, and then you've got RB3 Roschon Johnson. So some people would say, hey, could it be Roschon as RB2 and Foreman as RB3? Potentially, but look, folks, he's a rookie. They're just going to start him out as, behind the 2 vets, and then if he plays his way, which I believe he will, into, the second running back position, the top running back position, yeah, they'll move him up at that point. But for me right now, he's 3 on the depth chart. It's Herbert, it's Foreman, and it's Roschon Johnson. And it's great because to me, Herbert provides something that these other guys don't. Foreman provides something the other guys don't. And then Roschon kind of is a full package. And then as your RB4, you've got Travis Homer, who made the roster as well. And he's more of a scat pass catching back, if you will. And so I think the Bears running back room has good versatility. I think it's going to be running back by committee. And I think we're going to see, a heavy dose of the hot hand, if you will. So whoever's got the hot hand any given week, I think that is going to be the person that we are going to feed the rock to. It is going to be Khalil Herbert to start the year in terms of just getting the initial carries. I expect him to get the bulk of the early down work. Dante Foreman's more of the, short yardage situation, 3rd and short, etc., 2nd and short type of back. And then Roschon, better pass catcher. Get him out in space, let him create. And then Travis Homer, like I said, is just more of a pass catching back. Fullback, Kari Blasingame. We are only going to have one fullback on the roster. Nothing much needs to be said there. That's our fullback. All right, moving on to the wide receiver spot here. We've got DJ Moore, obviously, as your, wide receiver 1. And, man, he is, I think, set up for a big, big year. I drafted DJ Moore in one of my fantasy teams. I think DJ Moore is going to absolutely explode. I see a A.J. Brown. I see a Tyreek Hill, maybe not to Tyreek Hill's level, but I see a Stephon Diggs, that type of leap, courtesy of, the wide receiver to the quarterback, which is obviously going to be for DJ Moore to Justin Fields. But I see a big, big year for DJ Moore. Big year. I think Fields is going to look for him a lot, feed him a lot. And yeah, I just can't say enough good things. I think we are going to see a monster year from DJ Moore. You heard it here first. All right, second string. Darnell Mooney, of course, as your wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, Chase Claypool, wide receiver 4, Tyler Scott, and then 5, you've got Equinemius St. Brown or Velus Jones Jr., and then they just added Trent Taylor in the mix. I don't think Taylor's going to play many snaps, if any, at wide receiver. It's going to be most likely at punt return, which is why we got him. But overall, it's a pretty solid depth chart for the receiving room. Each of these guys bring a different level of skill set, right? Like I said, with Mooney, more of a downfield vertical stretch. Receiver, Chase Claypool's a big body guy you can use in the red zone. Tyler Scott, again, he's a rookie, but he's got immense speed and that he can flash. And then, of course, DJ Moore's your elite do-it-all alpha receiver. All right, moving on to the tight end room here. You've got 3 tight ends that the Bears are carrying, with Cole Kmet as your tight end 1, Robert Tonyan as your tight end 2, and then Mercedes Lewis as your tight end 3. Cole Kmet, obviously, coming off a great season last year, got an extension, well-deserved, and he's going to be your tight end 1 that can kind of do it all. Robert Tonyan's the pass catcher tight end. I see the Bears, obviously, running a lot of 2 tight end sets. That's not to say Cole Kmet's not a pass catching tight end, but I'm just saying Tonyan's going to be out there to catch balls. And then your blocking tight end, Mercedes Lewis. I don't expect him to catch a lot of balls. He is just going to be out there to block, and he is very good at it, even if he's old as dust at this point in his career. All right, here we go. Offensive line. The Bears are carrying 8 right now players on the offensive line. We've got Braxton Jones at the left tackle spot. Left guard, I think it's going to be Cody Whitehair, while Tevin Jenkins is out, who's on IR. At the center spot, I think it's going to be Doug Kramer. I think it's going to be Lucas Patrick to start the year. Right guard, Nate Davis, and then right tackle, Darnell Wright. So the center spot would have been Cody Whitehair, but again, he's getting slotted over to the left guard spot because no Tevin Jenkins. And then Doug Kramer is on IR as well. So your backup offensive linemen are going to be Larry Borum. You're going to have Ja'Tyre Carter. You're going to have your new offensive lineman, Dan Feeney, that we signed. So that is essentially what the offensive line and the backup situation looks like for the Chicago Bears. So here, just to repeat that for you guys, you've got, again, Braxton Jones, Cody Whitehair, Lucas Patrick, Nate Davis, and Darnell Wright, and then the backups, Larry Borum, Dan Feeney, and Ja'Tyre Carter. All right, so as far as the offensive line, man, I like the offensive line. Hopefully Tevin Jenkins, is only missing the 4 games, but I think, overall the offensive line is improved with Darnell Wright, with Nate Davis, and Braxton Jones going into year 2. So I really, really hope that, they are able to hold up and provide Justin Fields the protection that he needs, because that is what Justin Fields is going to need to make a leap as well. The offensive line has to be much, much better. All right, let's move over to the defense. We got the defensive line here. So your edge spots here, you got Yannick Ngakoue and you have DeMarcus Walker. Now, look, this is probably the weakest position group that we have, but getting Yannick Ngakoue helps a lot. This is a guy who's routinely gets 8 sacks minimum every single season, so he's definitely going to provide that pass rush that you essentially didn't have enough of at all. And then DeMarcus Walker, we got free agency as well, is going to provide some. So it's a decent group, man, that, Ryan Poles was able to patch up. And then on the inside, you've got Justin Jones and Andrew Billings, two guys, especially Billings, who can eat up a lot of space and stop the run, if you will. Backups, you got Rasheem Green, who I wish they didn't keep over certain guys, but he made the roster. Javon Dexter and Zach Pickens, your 2 rookies that you drafted this year. Dominique Robinson as well. And then also Khalid Kareem that you also got as a waiver wire claim. So that is your defensive line, folks. And, it's a lot better than, I guess, where we were at the start of the offseason. So you love to see that. But it's still overall a weak group, if you will. All right, moving on to the linebacker spot. You've got your 3 linebackers as your starters: Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, and Jack Sanborn. I feel pretty good about this group, guys. It's a very solid group led by Tremaine Edmonds, who I think is set up for a very good year. And then on the backup spots, you got Noah Sewell and Dylan Cole. So pretty solid linebacking core. Cornerback, we've got Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon, and then Tyreek Stevenson. If you're talking about guys on the outside, I think Kyler Gordon's going to be the slot corner. And then you got Terrell Smith as one of your backups, and Josh Blackwell and Jalen Jones. So to me, this is a group that has a lot of potential, because you've got guys that are relatively young in, Jalen and Kyler especially, and Tyreek and Terrell Smith. So these guys can show a lot of upside, but I think there's going to be growing pains here, man. I think the secondary right now at the beginning is going to feel weak because we've got a lot of youth at the position, but that also means they're going to get better as the season progresses, because they've got a lot of potential here. Safety, you've got obviously Eddie Jackson and Jaquan Brisker, and then your backups, Elijah Hicks and Quindell Johnson, who we also got on waivers. I feel pretty good about the safety spot, man. Ejax and Jaquan Brisker are 2 very good players, so to me, I feel very good. And finally, rounding out the 53 man roster. Cairo Santos is your kicker. Trenton Gill is your punter. And long snapper Patrick Seal. So overall, folks, there it is. That's your depth chart for your 53-man roster. Just like every other team, you got, holes and positions that you don't feel great about. Like, for example, the defensive line. But I still think this team is talented enough, has added enough on paper to be able to make some noise this coming season, which I hope they do. So let's see what happens out there, man. But yeah, overall, the team is set. Roster set. Now let's go out there and play some games. So let me know what you guys think about this, man. Leave a comment down below as always.